If you take one of the brochures that I've brought. And what we do is we try to work out how that season concept, so we create something new at the beginning of each season, how it works for each of our target audiences. And I'm just going to show you some of those target audiences. We have, at the moment, we have 6 audience development targets: community, students, tourists, families, amateur musicians, and city professionals. And I'm just going to show you 3 of them. So community, around LSO St Luke's, we now have 11 people who live within 2 or 3 streets of LSO St Luke's. And they're people who sometimes do reception duty, they steward at events, they invite their friends to concerts, and they are generally very excited about everything that they see. They get to meet conductors, they get to talk to LSO artists because they're in the building all the time. And I said to Mark and his team at Sydney Symphony that I would be willing to introduce any one of those community ambassadors to the Prime Minister, because they would be able to talk about the LSO from their own heart, because they've seen it and they've witnessed it, and they feel how important it is to their own community where they live, that the LSO's got deep roots and that they can see and be part of it. And their job is to bring their friends and neighbours into LSO events, and they're allowed to market it in any way they want. They are allowed to pick which concerts they would like to go to. They're allowed to be the box office, to hold the tickets and sell them. And the last concert, which was on the 9th of February that they chose, I think that night we had 168 different community attenders out of 1,800. Students, we've made the community ambassadors is one example of an ambassador scheme. That ambassador scheme is quite a small one because there are only 11 community ambassadors. And a few years ago we set out a student ambassador scheme where we'd end up each year, we'd go to freshers' fairs, we'd recruit new students, and we'd end up with probably about 100 student ambassadors who would invite their friends, and they would all book tickets on their mobile phones. So it was an SMS text service. They would then they would type in a unique ambassador code, so the ambassador would then be rewarded with benefits. They would sit with their student friends, and we'd give them a beer on the night. We were really, really working hard to get them in. And that was a very successful scheme. The text messaging service itself had got a bit clunky, so we decided to rebrand it as Pulse, and we're working on an app for that at the moment. They're allowed to have cheap tickets. They're £6 tickets. Generally, when they come in groups of, say, 4 to groups of 60. Those people